Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is in the day for you. Um, so we're gonna go over. I'm pretty sure I was in the middle of reading Pool House in my last video. I did finish it, obviously. I also finished Starving Saints by Caitlin Starling. And right now I'm reading The Vegetarian by Han Kang, and then my next book is going to be The Third Love by Hiromi Kawakami, and I believe these are going to be my last couple of physical books for a bit. We'll see, but yeah. So first up, Pool House by Mary H.K. Choi. This was a fantastic read. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Stevie as a main character. Her relationship with her mother and her, I guess her struggles of trying to figure out what her relationship with Adam was pretty interesting. And then this book is actually insane. There's the complexities of her relationship with her mom. Her mom was a actress in Hollywood during the time when she was kind of, I don't want to say typecasted, but I'm pretty sure that's kind of the word I'm looking for. And the story kind of starts off in revolve around her mother's TV husband / Adam's TV dad. They were like in a family show together, and Stevie kind of struggles with trying to figure out what her place is in life because she didn't get her mother's. She's like the opposite build of her mom. Her mom is described as a small, petite Asian woman, and Stevie is described as a taller Asian woman. And this is the character that actually passes away in the beginning of the book. It's not really a spoiler. It's kind of the introductory, if anything. But we get a little bit more insight about him down here along the lines. And yeah, it does switch up in its point of view. You get Stevie, Moon, Adam, and it's pretty interesting. I know there's somewhere in here that I wrote where Adam struggles with a lot of like insecurity problems and like trying to figure out what's up with his body in terms of his inability to perform. But he's one of those characters that I struggle really hard to feel sorry for in any kind of way, because he's somebody that it's kind of evident in the beginning that he's somebody that doesn't have to worry about, in my opinion, one of the biggest stressors in everyday life. Money, finances. He has no worry about it. And it's even made more concrete later on in the book when Stevie and him go to his home in New York, and she gets to see firsthand just how wealthy of a person he is. But he's just kind of insane, you know. He's got a infatuation with Moon, Stevie's mother, his TV mom. He has a certain photograph / artwork of her over his bed in his home in New York. But Stevie and Moon do live in LA. They reside in this glass home that's apparently pretty elegant, but you get a description of it from, I believe it's Adam's chapter, where they talk about how disgusting and unkempt it is. Like there's flies buzzing around, that it's hard to clean all the surfaces because of the way the house was constructed, and it's pretty insane. And then I loved it. I think it was a fantastic book. It left me completely dumbfounded in the end. What Moon and Adam do to Stevie is crazy. I have no other word than simply put, it's crazy. But yeah, the way Mary H.K. Choi writes, I really enjoy it. Here's a little snippet. I think this is pretty good because there's no spoiler in here. I guess I could, he says. It gives her a strange, stiff look. It's just that I never got any better, he finishes. And Stevie gets the distinct sense that they might be talking about something else. Yeah, it's a pretty I don't want to say it's a super lengthy read, about 300-ish pages. I do enjoy the cover. I think it was fantastic. Michelle Zauner, she wrote Crying at H Mart. I mean, you can see that right there. But yeah, it's a book I read a long time ago. But yeah, I saw her recommendation for it. I saw Post Office Girl's recommendation for it, and on one of my little trips, picked it up. Starving Saints. This was something that I don't read too many horror books, I think, or horror themed books, I guess. I think the last one I read was Between Two Fires by Christopher Buehlman, and that was a fantastic book in its own. But Starving Saints by Caitlin Starling. This was what I just read. I finished it on Thursday, the 14th. Yeah, I actually really like the edges. The pages of this book I really like, and the font is really cool. But yeah, this was a very freaky read on the cannibalism, other types of powers kind of thing. The main character, or I guess the same thing. You got 3 characters. The story revolves around those 3 characters. You have Focine, Voin, and Trayla. I had to listen to the audiobook for a little bit because I couldn't figure out if it was Focine, Focine, but I guess in the audiobook it's Focine. Voin, that's kind of a given, and then Trayla, I didn't get that far in the audiobook, but I'm guessing I'm pronouncing that right. But regardless of that, Focine is a, I guess like an ex-nun. She's not in the, in that group anymore. She wasn't like shunned or anything like that, but she started experimenting with different powers, and she started to not believe in their, constant lady so much anymore. And, she ended up getting taken up under, I believe it was Sir Leodegardus, if I'm remembering the person who took up under her wing. But he got her a spot in the castle to solve problems that the priory couldn't figure out, and that the knights and the king couldn't figure out. So she found a way to purify their water sources. And I forgot exactly what it was. I'm pretty sure it was something kind of semi-disgusting. But she explains it in the process here. But she also had accidentally summoned some otherworldly creatures, which from the description, they're obviously some kind of devil, demon, entity kind of thing. But they're fairly harmless. She just keeps them hidden because she knows that it's going to cause some kind of ruckus. But yeah, and then Voin is the Sir Knight. She is honorable, loyal to the core, to the point of it being kind of dangerous. And then Trayla is somebody who is out for revenge, retribution, question mark. I really enjoyed her character a lot. She's a little bit more, I don't want to say more unhinged, because Focine is pretty insane. But this is a really fun read. It is a little gross because the cannibalism, the events that transpire later in the book after they summon, actually, I'm not gonna say summon, after some other world beings, or in those world beings appear in the castle, questions arise, theories are brought up. Focine blames herself for it for a while, but she ends up finding out that it wasn't her. But yeah, here's an insert from Trayla. I've already had all the rules of my life turned upside down before. Trayla says, finally. It's easier to keep your head when you know it's all you can rely on. She's a really fun character. I enjoy her a lot. She makes some sacrifices in this book that make me really like her character a lot more. Focine is very, very cool because she's just different. The name's really cool too. But if you're into a little horror reading about cannibalism, I don't want to say demons, but that's the closest thing. Monsters, entities. creatures. The cover art is really smart because for a bit, I was like, what the hell do bees and honey have to do with the book? You know, like, this is obviously a depiction of Phocine, you know, and I just kept wondering, like, what does the priory, what do the nuns have to do with this? And eventually you get to a point where you're like, okay, it's starting to click. But 2 really good reads. But yeah, if you like a really good novel on family, nepotism, betrayal, grief, Pool House is really good. If you want a really cool horror, I don't know. I don't want to say it's a cannibalism book because it's not revolving around cannibalists, but there's cannibalism in it. But there's the creatures in this book that cause these issues and problems, and the things that the characters have to do to earn their freedom. Very, 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 very cool. Very, very cool. My current read is The Vegetarian by Han Kang, or Han Kang, translated by Deborah Smith. This has been on my TBR for a while. I actually have been able to stay away from spoilers or any sort about it, and I actually have not even read a page. I am on the first page. I've been a little busy with work. Kind of tell by how small this clump of books is compared to my last video, and the space of time from my last video to Pool House. I think I was already like halfway through Pool House in that last video, and I finished it fairly recently. It's about 300 pages. Starving Saints was almost about 300-ish. The Vegetarian is only like 180 when I checked. So hopefully I can knock this out in time to read this next book. It's been on my TBR for a bit. Cover is catchy. The description is catchy. But yeah, not much to say about it yet. I actually haven't read anything else from this author either, so we'll see how that goes. And then my next book is going to be The Third Love by Hiromi Kawakami. I've read other Kawakami books, and I was at Kinokuniya up in Duluth, Georgia, and I was like, you know what, I did pick up some manga when I was there, and I was like, let me grab a novel just in case, because I was already reading Starving Saints, and this was the only other physical book I had on me to read. So I was like, let me pick up something else, just, you know, depending on like how work goes, how my schedule goes, if I'm going to be able to read more or not. But yeah, so this is hopefully for this week, and this will be for my upcoming flight / trip. But yeah, if you have any recommendations after these 2, I'm going to be picking up a Kubo, the reading tablet, fairly soon, and I'm going to be buying some books digitally. I do like the idea that I get to highlight and notate and annotate on that reading tablet. I was kind of leaning towards an iPad, but I kept seeing ads for the Kubo, question mark. That's my fault, I forgot what it was called. But yeah, these are recent, current, and upcoming, and maybe I'll do a video on some of the manga that I will be picking up sometime soon. But yeah, if you stuck around, thanks. Not really much else to say. And this will probably be my last video for a bit, because I guess I could just say that I am active duty. That's why I'm getting the reading tablet. It'll be easier for me to carry that around than to be carrying around a bunch of physical books. But yeah, other than that, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do pick up these books, I do hope you enjoy them, and you know, maybe throw down your thoughts on it down below. But other than that, I'll catch you guys later. See ya. Bye bye.